I think you'll get today's. I think you'll be all right
Okay.
on today.
All right.
All right,
Maybe.
ready? 3, 2, 1, and welcome everybody back to the Built Different Show, episode number 116. As you guys know, the finals are hot and spicy. It has been everything that true ball knowers, ball watchers have wanted from the finals for a little bit now. Other than that, the MLB season is heating up. NFL is around the corner. We are almost there. WWE is heating up again. Everything is heating up. The world is lit right now. I'm sorry, terrible little joke right there. Maybe not a joke. I don't know. But
It is
either
lit.
which way, how are you guys? What is on top of your minds? Cam, why don't you lead us off?
Oh man, peace, fellas. As always, it's a pleasure to get with my boys, man, and do what we do. Make sure that y'all like, comment, subscribe, join the conversation. But my beginning or how I want to start my day off with you fellas is ask you and talk about last week's the next chapter or the TNC02 that took place. Lance Stephenson versus Michael Beasley. Listen, man, the shit was epic. First and foremost, I got to give a shout out to TNC because this is number 2. Last time they had like Schoolie and a couple of other guys. But it's been dope, man, because we get a lot of dope what if scenarios now for like a lot of athletes who may have played their way out of systems.
Mello and Beasley
Yes,
already. Yeah.
literally. You know what I mean? They may have played their way out of systems, not at all due to talent diminishment or anything like that. It's mostly because of attitude and mindset and shit like that. So at the end of the day, we still get to see these guys. And listen, man, Beasley jumped out on this boy. It was kind of funny to see some of the online stuff that happened and everything like that with them leading up to it, talking about Kim K and all these different things. It was mad funny. But when they got on the court, it was nice to see that Michael Beasley is everything still that everybody always talks about. He jumped out to like an early 4-0 lead, then end up sideswiping them 31-21 was the final. It was kind of crazy to see, Lance Stephenson, like, listen, hometown guy, New York dude, we love him and everything like that, but we are talking about basketball. You know what I mean? It was hard to see that man and his emotions and everything like that and just getting cooked. But listen, we're going to fast forward this on why I wanted to bring this up because, again, listen, man, I don't know how they are funding these and everything like that, but I implore everybody to get behind them because we also got to see Lou Will cook old Brandon Jennings on Gil's Arena. Shout out to those guys, man. Got some good stuff going on and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where I wanted to start at today, guys. The TNC last week's, you know what I mean, one-on-one with Lance Stephenson and Michael Beasley. This week, which had nothing to do with the TNC, but Lou Williams and Brandon Jennings kind of sparking these what-if scenarios, man, about getting these ex-NBA players and current NBA players, man, to go at it. What y'all feel?
Yeah, two quick takes on that, man. I mean, first, I love seeing anything good for Michael Beasley because, like, as we know, he came to the league and mental health kind of like took over there, and he didn't really become who
Mm-hmm.
he should have became. Everybody knows all the stories of him cooking his teammates in practice, the one-on-ones with Braun, the one-on-ones, with
Mm-hmm.
others. I honestly feel like he could probably ball today. No one's going to take that chance. No one's going to put him on their team, but he
Mm-hmm.
could absolutely go to an NBA team and be like a third string, dude that
Mm-hmm.
could come in garbage time and give buckets. I would hope, that a team could give him that chance, give him a little, goodbye tour of, some sort. But,
Mm-hmm.
that's wishful thinking. But
Mm-hmm.
he's a baller, man. And, you love seeing stuff like that. You love seeing Michael Beasley ball on any chance you can get because he's real hoops. He's real basketball. And the second thing is like, yeah, we're getting all these what if scenarios. I've noticed there's a lot of like personalities. Like there's a lot of former players coming back into the media. Michael Jordan's going to be an analyst next year, which
Mm-hmm.
is insane.
Mm-hmm.
We got a whole bunch of people going on, Stephen A's show that, we the Markeith and Marcus Morris, the
Mm-hmm.
twins are on the
Mm-hmm.
show.
Mm-hmm.
When did we think we were ever going to see those guys as
Mm-hmm.
analysts? But it's good stuff. I think basketball is, overall the game is starting to kind of fix itself. It's coming along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
That's your favorite player's favorite player right there, man. Everyone knows what Beasley was about. He AAU with Kevin Durant. They came up
Mm-hmm.
together, bro. Best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Always challenged Kevin Durant in like one on ones, and when played with LeBron, challenged him on one on ones. Every team he's ever been on, he's the best one on one player, but it's just mental capacity just was never there.
I loved
And
his 1 year on the Knicks, man.
and he was cooking. He averaged like 15 that year. Like, what the hell?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. It's
Mhm.
I loved this for Michael Beasley, and I love it for all future players that want to do this. And it just
Mhm.
helps us expand our minds into the
Yeah.
like you guys were saying, the what if categories of this guy versus this guy, Melo versus Beasley. Like you were saying, Tom is might be coming up. Both of them say they've never lost a 1-on-1, so one of them got to
Mhm.
lose this one.
Yeah, that'll be electric.
And
That'll
yeah,
be
they're
Mhm.
electric.
arguably the two best one-on-one players of all time. Like if you put them in a practice gym, but no, I love this, and Brandon Jennings sucks. That's bro. It's just like he challenged everybody under the sun, and everyone he challenged, I think, would beat him. Even Marcus Thornton, I think, would
Yeah.
beat him in his prime. Like, come on, what are we
Mhm.
talking about? But no, I love this, and it's just like I love anything external basketball. I loved it when the Big Three came on. I love all just like foreign sports, anything basketball related. I love it. Anything in extension of basketball, I love it. So this, of course, I'm gonna love classic one-on-one hoops. Who would not like this?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bet.
Well, how you feeling, man? What you
All
got?
right, so I'm chilling over here. I'm doing good. But my opening take, man, y'all saw Angel Reese got a new shoe deal with Reebok, right? Y'all
Mhm.
Here we
saw
go.
that price
Here we
point
go.
she wants to put that shit at? Y'all saw that price point? She pitched to Reebok to have her shoes sell for a band, $1,000. Now last episode of this, me and Kem were obviously supporting the WNBA and talking about the rivalry between her and Caitlin Clark and just how it's expanding the game. Something like this just makes people dislike Angel Reese more than they already do, and I like Angel Reese off the court. Something like this just makes me be like, yeah, I get it. You want to empower women to have the right to build their own brands and everything. I respect that. That's not the right way, though. People are just gonna look at you and like, why the fuck would we buy Angel Reese shoes for $1,000? They're not luxury. They're basketball shoes, and they don't
The
look
Reeboks.
and the Reeboks, and they don't look as good as Jordans. Don't feel
Bro,
as
they
good as
settled
Jordans.
on 150, and even I wouldn't even touch that price. Like that's
150 I
crazy.
can see because like Sabrina and SQs are like 120, 130. So all right, cool. I think she should probably be around the same range as that, and maybe a little lower since she's newer, but she is a bigger name. But it's just like, come on, what are we doing? $1,000? What the hell is that? Like, I wouldn't pay. The most I've ever paid for a shoe was 400, like for something. Like I would never touch a shoe for $1,000, especially a basketball shoe. Get the hell out of here.
And yeah, man. I mean, I think my take last week. I know I was a little harsh on the whole comparison thing or whatever. I'm gonna backtrack here. I think that Angel Reese is perfect in like a negative way because while Caitlin Clark gets all the positive, media attention, Angel Reese, she's an engagement farmer. She knows like I really doubt that she really feels like her shoe is fucking worth a thousand
No, but she
dollars
did
unless
make the
she's like
pitch. She made the pitch. That's for
yeah, but like I really doubt she like in her own head sat there and was like, "Yeah, I'm about to make a band off every fucking pair of shoes that I saw." No, like I really can't sit here and believe she thought that. But she, since college, knows how to get people in the media talking. Bullying Caitlin Clark was the start of all that. She knew exactly what she was doing with that. And then all this because some of these comments are so brain dead that she makes but she's smart though at the end of the day that I can't sit here and believe that she's actually saying that stuff and truthfully meaning it.
no. A lot of it
So
is
I
for
don't
clicks. I get it. A lot of it is for clicks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But goddamn, Angel Reese.
She's u- she's using the tool, bro.
Oh, no,
She's
no, hundred
using the
percent.
she's mastered the tool. You know what I mean? Again, I think that it's good to hear that you agree with the perspective because that's all it is a perspective. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
in making a script
She,
and
she brings
casting
as
character.
much almost as
Yes.
much negative
Yes.
attention to the
Yeah.
WNBA as Caitlin Clark
Right.
brings positive attention and
Right.
any attention
Is
for
good
that
at
product,
Any
which is good.
attention.
yes, that's just how it
Yeah.
goes. You know what I
It's like
mean?
how we're
And
doing with this podcast. Any
yeah,
attention
like
is good.
yeah, like yo, what are you talking about, bro? I love it. Like, come on, talk about me. And she made it. You know what I mean? She's
100%.
making it work for her. You know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thanks to Shaq and AI though for revitalizing Reebok. You know
100%.
what I mean? And even allowing her to even have that platform. You know what I mean? And it be as meaningful and her even to be able to let's start with $1,000 price point. That's only because Shaq and AI walked there in the building. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of crazy.
100%.
Yeah, man. I kind of just wanted to go on a little rant to open, my side
Uh-oh.
of things, kind of just against, how bad and weird NBA media is. And I kind of want to start at the top with Stephen A. Smith. So, Kem, before we started, this podcast, Kem was talking about that he tunes in, to Sports Center in the morning and watches some of those first shows before he has to get his day going. And I decided to try and do that. And like I said, try. For the first time in a while, I decided to actually try to do that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that Stephen A would be talking about the Pacers or the Thunder or where, Shea's greatness goes or what this does for Tyrese Halliburton, anything. He starts off his first two topics of his episode talking about if Giannis doesn't win another ring, how bad is that for him? And Luka will never have the leadership to, prosper in the NBA. And my thing is that, I'm just sitting here like, God damn, like what kind of media is this, bro? You're sitting here playing solitaire while the NBA finals is going on. Your takes for every other sport besides NBA are so just booty. You could just tell he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then same thing, like you want to come for Luka Doncic's leadership. What about your own leadership? Ever since ESPN has chosen Stephen A as the man for ESPN, they have tanked. They have regressed. They have guys like Kendrick Perkins on there who has not improved whatsoever. They have other people like JJ Redick had to come and carry the show for a fucking year to get their engagement up. It has not been a pretty sight since Stephen A has been their number one guy. Like they're talking about throwing him in politics. What is going on? And then you got Shams, and God bless Shams' soul, but he is nothing like Woj at all in the slightest. All his reporting has been, well, I think this might happen. Maybe this will happen. Just basic blanket statements. And Woj was a gangster in these streets. He would tell you exactly what the fuck was going on, exactly what would happen. But we have all this bullshit today. And that's going to go into, our topic when we talk about this Thunder Pacers finals. I think the media has this whole thing fucked up. And if anything, it's hurting the game more than it's ever helping the game. And that's my little opening rant right there.
Okay. All right, bro. All right.
I 100% agree with what you're talking about. This has been a thing for a while. Like, and obviously, I'm just bringing this to LeBron because he's the easiest thing to go at. There could be anything happening in the world of basketball, any NBA finals ever. They'll still just talk about LeBron instead. Like especially like LeBron ever since he's been a Laker, bro. I could be going to go watch one of those shows to hear their take on like a matchup in the playoffs or something, and for some reason, like we'll be talking about LeBron and the Lakers. And
does LeBron need next to him next year? Like,
I want to hear about the shit that's happening right now, not somebody who's already at home. And like at least you can get to that. You can get to it, but start off your show with what we want to hear right now. We want to hear
about that same show.
Go, Ken.
That third topic on that same show was it about the finals? But it was literally it was so much negativity towards Tyrese Halliburton. Like, he needs to do a lot better than this, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, I think it was Marcus Morris who was like he kind of came at Stephen A a little bit. Like, do you watch Tyrese Halliburton play basketball? Like, this is his game. Like, he does explode offensively once in a while, but mostly it's like 17 and 10, good defense, good team basketball. It's never been like crazy shit.
So listen, understand that people who promote the NBA is trying to sell a certain NBA. You understand what I'm saying? So first and foremost, being a media personality and being on the NBA countdown in which he is now with Malika, the other gentleman we was talking about, Big Perk, you know what I mean, and the cast of other people between Richard Jefferson and a bunch of others that may be there, right? The funny thing is that they're selling the NBA that they want to. They promoting the NBA that they want people to see. Yeah. That is not actually always real basketball. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like in all truth, right? It's a business. You understand what I'm saying? That's bad for the game, but good for business. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So when we get into all of this, we already know what it is, just like the past players. That's why they have to have them a part of the panels and everything like that, because a lot of talking heads have no fucking idea what's going on. When even having and speaking to JJ Redick coming up and then doing Mind the Game and then getting the head coaching job, you understand what I'm saying, is another reason why they also believe that Rajon Rondo is a coach in waiting as well. Because as it pertains to the way that basketball is really played, you know what I mean, it takes people who have also played the game, right, to really be able to understand and sometimes be able to teach the game. Not everybody that are great teachers of the game played the game, but the majority of those who are, who we know are greats, have played basketball in some form or fashion at some time of their life, right? So in a high level way, you know what I mean? Or was a part of a team, you know what I mean, that had high expectations. But anyway, as to get back to these motherfuckers, man, Tom, I think you spot on. You know what I mean? I turn it on daily as to get my day going and have it going in the background. And a lot of times, man, it's crazy, man, to hear what they're selling. The same thing goes to other sports, like you said about other takes. They'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys, you know what I mean, because it is they'll always tell you why, too. It's the number one selling franchise in NFL, just like the Lakers, you know what I mean, are. And like going to Matt's point, they're going to talk about LeBron when we're not there because it's the number one selling franchise. So when it comes to that shit, for the casual, you know what I mean, they'll be in love with those couple of teams, but for the purists, you know what I mean, we know that they totally fucking disrespecting the game right now. And the two teams that are playing right now, we have a offensive pace in the Pacers and a defensive presence of the fucking OKC, which is a perfect match made in heaven for basketball. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's anybody's night, any night. But I'll let you go ahead. Excuse me.
Yeah. That's point blank, period.
Yeah,
I think
fuck out of here, man.
Everything
Yeah, they need to stop that shit.
100%.
Yeah, man. They need to stop that shit,
and
man.
before we move on, make sure if you guys are liking the conversation, the different conversations so far that you guys like, subscribe, leave some feedback. Shout out to Singapore. Shout out to all our overseas listeners. Shout out to everybody listening and watching, of course. So let's dive in. Kem, you're 0-3.
Yes.
I think we gotta get this out the way now. We gotta let Matt cook you right now. Matt, what do you have for your blind ranking for Kem today?
I think Kem's gonna like this one. He's real knowledgeable on this type of stuff because this was mainly something that was in his era.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a blind ranking for all-time enforcers.
Ooh.
So they all might not be from your era, but know more than anybody, at least us, about a good enforcer. You feel me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna start off now. This player right here. If you know the lore of this player, I'm going James Johnson.
Oh my goodness.
Black belt.
Okay.
Never lost an MMA fight.
Yes. Yes.
When he steps on the court, if a scuffle's happening, everyone backs off. Come on. All right.
Particularly has something to do with why the Pacers don't fear anything right now. You understand what I'm saying? Right now. You understand what I'm saying? So, wow. Whew, I'm going to say, listen, man, there's a great story that came out about him that the coach in college said, listen, man, you're going to have to either fight or play basketball. He said, listen, man, I need money. So he went and fought after practice. It was mad funny. Cool dude. So I'm going to have to put him at, like, goddamn number 2, without a doubt.
2. Okay.
Yeah,
I love that. All right. So next up, I'm gonna have Ron Artest.
Ooh, that's a solid number 3, man. Solid. I don't even care. Solid. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Next up, now, if you know. If you're a New Yorker, you know this man, Quincy Acey.
Oh, Quincy Acey.
Oh my God, he comes up later in the episode.
How does Quincy Acey come up later in the episode?
You already know. Yeah, he's going to the nickel.
Yeah, I figured. All right, now this is
John Wall.
I'm assuming this is your boy right here. I'm assuming you fuck with this man right here, Charles.
He's making me nervous. He's making me nervous right now, y'all. He's making me nervous right now.
Where you putting Charles Oakley? Enforcer. Talk about enforcers.
I only got 2 spots left.
You got 1 and 4.
Charles Oakley.
The last couple times that I've left the spot to the person, I've got fried.
Yeah.
Right? I got Ron Artest at 2.
Yep.
3.
I mean at 3.
Ron Artest at 3.
No, listen. I gotta go Oak at 1. I'm not even gonna play with you. I'm going Oak at 1. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Oak at 1. Yeah.
So now your number 4 slot is Big Ben.
Stop playing with me. Yeah, I'll take that. I will take that.
Okay.
I will take that.
This isn't an L list.
Yes, that is not an L.
All right, I fuck with that.
Yes, that is not a no. Right. Because if anybody that will, even for the casual right now, even if they go look up enforcers, they're going to see Oakley probably more than anybody, right? Then they know because of the current and being the casual person, gonna know number 2, right? Then we go to any type of brawl we're gonna go to, there it is, right? And then if you want to just look at anything Pistons, right? But for the current, we're gonna go, you know what I mean? And then for 5th, come on, buddy.
So for me,
that was good.
For me,
That was good.
what was gonna define this list is where you put James Johnson. And
Gotcha.
I think you did well on this. I think you did
Okay.
really well. I
All
told
right,
you I feel like you would do good on
All
this.
right, bro. All right, bet. Okay, you gave me some. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
1 and 3 ain't bad. I'm in here.
Be ready for next
So
week.
yeah, let's move right into talking about the finals. So as we record right now, the finals stand at 2-2. When this records, Game 5 will be done. So we're gonna say some good things about both teams. You know, maybe some weaknesses or what we think might happen. Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to open this up? Who wants to give their takes on what's going on so far? What they like?
I'll
What they
go
don't
first.
like?
I'll go first, man. Especially because I was the one who was calling everybody on social media and just in the media casuals as fuck if they was not about to like this series. This is basketball right here. This is basketball. Neither team
Refreshing.
is even averaging more than 112 points per game. This is basketball here. This is not just let's throw up a ball. This is real offenses. This is real defenses. Even the Pacers. We talk about the Thunder having the best defense in the league. The Pacers is not shabby right now either. They're locking the fuck down too. This is real basketball. My boy Alex Caruso. This is why you extend him 4 years, 80 million. People were confused by that because his regular season, his percentages are bad. He's averaging below 10 points a game. Like his offense is minimal as fuck while his defense is great. Both their wins, he's put up 20 points per game. Pretty sure last night he had 5 steals. Fucking the big takeaway for me though is big takeaway for me for this past game 4. My boy Halliburton was letting them shits fly though. My boy Halliburton was letting them fly, and he's just got to slow down on that. Everything else he was doing in the game, his passing, his finding the open man, his penetration was beautiful. Whenever he was penetrating, he was beautiful. But I feel like he just needs to cut back on them threes. Siakam, he was great in that first half. That's what was keeping them ahead in that first half. Once second half came, his spin move was getting cut at the 18-foot. He couldn't move. Couldn't get nowhere. So he had 14 in the first half, 6 in the second half. I think the biggest takeaway as far as Pacers go, they need to know that the adjustment is coming at halftime, and they need to work on how they're going to adjust for the Thunder's adjustments, because the Thunder adjusted beautifully. Well, the third quarter, it was rough, but that fourth quarter, they locked the fuck in. And it's just Shea, 15 points in that last 5 minutes. J-Dub, his penetration, you couldn't stop. It was either he was getting the bucket or he was getting a foul. This is basketball. There's schemes getting played. The coaching is beautiful on both ends. This is what basketball is all about, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't get how people aren't fucking with it.
Yeah, they tripping. I'm going to be real quick. Because you said a lot of the points. I'm going to just give a couple of takes on the points. In all honesty, I believe the Thunder saved their season. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? It was a great game after trailing by 7 points heading into the fourth, bro. So that third quarter that you talk about, remember, they were trailing by 7
they were down
as they went.
Point.
You know what I mean? Listen, the MVP took over. He scored 11 in the final 3 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? The MVP did what MVPs do. So now, as he's leading up for future conversations, this actual performance after that loss is going to be one that should be highlighted. Okay. Absolutely. They dominated. A cool point in this win. They shot 34 fucking free throws, bro. Yeah. 34 free throws.
J-Dub was
all right, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. All right. But listen, let's look at it this way too. I look at the Pacers being 1 quarter away from being up 3-1. I mean,
12 minutes away.
Literally. You know what I mean? Seriously, bro. They collapsed though. You know what I mean? That 18 points and what you're talking about, 14 minutes. Pascal and Tyrese Halliburton played well, but they couldn't finish. Now, I want to just say something to your counter for Alex Caruso. You are exactly right. And for the Pacers, it's Obi Toppin. Both of
Ooh,
them
yeah.
have played amazing. Their bench work
17
has been
points last night.
delightful. Yes, their bench work has been
Yeah.
delightful. The sum of all parts have actually showed up. The Naismith Nimhart duo on Shea is working. You
Beautiful.
understand what I'm saying? It is great. This is good basketball. It is the 1-2, is the counter to each other. You understand? This is a prime boxing match. Styles make fights.
Yes.
This is a great fight.
100%.
Yeah, and Obi Toppin, he lucked into a great situation right there in Indy. Like, he's not the best basketball player in the world. He's not like overly great
He's a
or
pure
like,
athlete, though.
He's
average at
energy.
everything, but
He's a pure
like
athlete.
it's his energy meshes well with the team. They run and he runs, like he dunks, wide open threes, everything. Like, their style fits his game and one of the best fits you'll ever see. But like, to go to Matt's point, man, like people have been asking for years, especially the last couple of years, and I've been on this pod asking for it too, for real hoops to come back. That's one thing. People have been asking for real point guards to come back. People have been asking for fair officiating to come back. And I'll argue with anyone that thinks that this officiating has not been fair. Have the refs been
You
missing
heard
some
what
stuff?
Scott Foster
Have they
getting
been?
called? The extender.
Yeah, I mean, he's the extender. Hell yeah.
Nigga, that
But like,
walk that homeboy hit to get that and one lat. Come on, stop playing. That was a
yeah, but players get that. But like, it's
no.
just
You don't
more.
get that one, but I'll let you
But
go.
players get that. Superstars get
Stop.
those calls,
No,
man.
that's
Whether
not
it's
an
a right,
extended.
whether
That's
it's
not
a
a
right or
gather
wrong
or nothing.
call, it like players get that call. It just is what it is. They like people have been asking for complete teams and GMs who are, actually good at their jobs. People have been asking for small market fucking winners. People have been asking, for new stars. We get all that, and everyone just wants to shit on it. And I mean, I think that's just another problem. I mean, because you hear all this stuff like Tyrese Halliburton possibly getting a ring. People are like, he don't belong in this conversation, and he don't belong in that conversation. But he is a real fucking point guard. You guys have been asking for it, for point guards that try hard on the defensive end, and on the offensive end, they're looking for the right pass. They don't turn over the ball a lot. This is what we are getting with Tyrese Halliburton. He deserves more respect. I think the Pacers are an incredibly healthy franchise. I think one of the biggest things about that is Benedict Mathurin came in as a complete fucking hothead, a hothead dude that seemed very immature, and he is starting to like work his way into being a very, good role player for them.
He's the
On top of
third
that,
leading scorer on their team
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton.
all season.
You don't hear anything negative about the dude. The dude's staying out of fucking trouble. Miles Turner, they held on to Miles Turner for all these fucking years, and it's rewarding them. Pascal Siakam, when the league didn't want to trade for Pascal Siakam because people, for some fucking reason, thought that Pascal Siakam does not contribute to winning basketball. The Pacers have formed this healthy team, and it's been great. Have I doubted them this whole way? Yes. I said they'd lose to the Bucks. I said they'd lose to the Cavs. I said they'd lose to the Knicks, and I said that they'd lose to the Thunder. But the thing that I was blind to is this is what a healthy team looks like. It's like when the Nuggets won the championship. It's just a healthy fucking team. And then the Thunder, another team, healthy. They have it all put together. I think, game 4, I think the Pacers got too ahead of themselves. They were up 2-1. They had a lead going into the fourth quarter. I think they got comfortable, and they went honestly away from everything that was giving them winning basketball. I mean, like Benedict Mathurin, who had just scored you 27 points off the bench in the prior game, only plays in 12 minutes, and then you bring him in the last minute. Of course, he's gonna miss a fucking bunch of free throws. He's got fucking cold feet, and I get it.
He missed 3 free throws and had 2 late inbound fouls that cost them more extra points there. But
and my thing is,
he was
like,
in
yes, bad.
he was in other minutes, but he was just missing a lot. It is what it is. All he was getting his points
Yeah.
from was the line. But yeah, no, I feel you.
And
Gotta have more
expecting
minutes.
something out of him when he's like not hot, he doesn't have his feet under him, like, struggling a little bit earlier, but then you also only played him 12 minutes. I don't know. But SGA, like Kem said, rose to the fucking occasion. You love to see that. Like all the other guys that we love now and we love then, with those moments, that this was one of them. Had a terrible fucking game. He was locked down. he took everything he learned through those 3 quarters, was getting, and that's the thing about his foul calls that he gets. You can call him a merchant, but he takes what the game gives him. Like, dude was holding his shoulder the whole game. All right, I'm about to take advantage of that, and I'm going to get my foul calls in the fourth quarter when it's needed the most. He rose to the occasion, hit some fucking big shots, especially the big 3 that got them moving. And
That was
honestly, it was a statement game, man.
You know
SGA
what's
is here.
crazy? Son said he had a terrible game those first 3 quarters. He had 20 points on 50% shooting those first 3 quarters. But that
he just looked locked up.
Well, I should have probably said first half, but I
Okay.
thought he heated up in the fourth if he heated up in the third.
He had 8 points in the third on good percentage, but the first 3 quarters he had 20 points on 9 for 18 shooting. So it was still good. But he
was quiet for a while. He had no assists.
He was doing he wasn't doing it in quick spurts. He was just getting his points when they were coming to him because Nembhard, Shepherd,
there we go.
they're all on his ass. And it was funny too because there was a time I think in the third quarter where Shea's at the free throw line and the camera turned to him and it's him, and then right there in the background is just Nembhard grilling. And then I think Mike Breen said that's the picture right there because there's not going to be a moment where you see Shea and don't see Nembhard on his shoulder. And that is describing this whole series because the lockdown defense that they are trying to throw at Shea is giving him trouble. Still, he's Shea. He's the MVP for a reason. He's getting his points. But they are making it hell for him to try to get those points.
I got to tell y'all something sidebar. I love Nembhard's pound, tween, hezzy, step back, pound. If you don't bite, tween, hezzy, step.
He got moved.
Yo, his shit is so. I just like seeing him do work. You understand what I'm saying? Whether he shoot or not. Once he gets a little bit more confident and he don't hesitate so much into his into his jump shot, because this shit is pure. But once he get a little bit more confident, maybe a little bit more rope from the coach, I can't wait to see him letting go a little bit more because he's earning it, especially with his defense for sure.
Hell yeah.
And I think Game 5, I think the Pacers just literally all they got to do is just work on not getting too ahead of themselves. Because like I said, fourth quarter came and they just all strategy kind of just went out the window. Everything they were doing to beat the Thunder, they weren't making adjustments. It was kind of rough to watch in the fourth quarter. This Game 5 obviously is, I think it's going to tell the story for the rest of the way. If the Pacers come and get blown out or they don't make it a competitive game, I honestly think the Pacers are fried. But I don't know, man. It's been a good series. And that's
a great series.
And
it's hard because neither one of them, just one quick thing, the last thing, neither one of them lose all season or all series. They don't lose. So somebody's going to have to, this is crazy, man. They don't.
In 2025, the winning team in an NBA Finals game would have only made 3 threes.
That was
would have
beautiful.
thought something like that. If that ain't 2000s 90 ball, what is 2000s 90s ball, bro? That's
basketball.
That's
basketball
right there.
Pre Steph Curry.
And
let's always say that Steph Curry totally changed the game.
Exactly.
Where threes became Steph Curry totally changed. That was basketball before Steph Curry.
2010s, because what Thomas was saying earlier is just people want a real point guard, but then they see Tyrese Halliburton and get upset. 2010 spoiled so many NBA fans of the 30-point point guard. So everybody wants a point guard who will just put up 30 points, 5 assists, but shoot lights out. That's not what a point guard does. That's not what a traditional point guard was ever supposed to do.
No.
Have we gotten those over the years? Of course, but the 2010s was filled with just that. All you had was maybe Chris Paul, Ricky Rubio, early 2010s, Andre Miller, John Wall, my bad. And then everyone else, Darren Williams for a little bit, but then he became a high-level scorer. So it's just so many people were just scoring that it took the point guard away from people.
What do you say?
Rondo.
Guess what?
Rondo is
I got a thought. Didn't that fucking same paradigm shift happen in the NFL to where quarterbacks had to be dual threat? And now this is why one of the reasons why Shedeur Sanders, they say in another time, he would be, you know what I mean, lauded
Yeah.
because he knows how to stand in the pocket and command the pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which for all intents and purposes, normally is what wins in the NFL anyway, even though they love the dual threat. The actual pocket quarterback normally wins the most Super Bowls. But it's kind of crazy how that paradigm shifted to athletic, you know what I mean, more than just generalship, because that's what the point guard is. But anyway, sorry.
And my boy Shador already got out to the number 2 slot, too. He's right behind Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of this training camp, he man.
Yeah.
He might be number 1. He's already shown his grit, man.
Yeah, no, for real quick on Shador, man. I mean, I think it's just a classic case of the NFL and their owners really trying to control the fucking narrative of their league, because it goes all the way back to Colorado when Deion Sanders and him arrived into fucking Colorado, and no one wanted them to succeed. The media was all negative. Everyone shitted on them over and over and over. Shador looked great in college. I mean, you could point out a couple. Yeah, you could point out a couple games where he like looked bad, but like he's at least better than a lot of the quarterbacks that were drafted in front of him.
Yeah.
I would honestly make the argument I would honestly rather have him than Cam Ward. That's maybe just me. But like when it comes down to it, it's always some sort of media manipulation, and he just fell into that hole and just fell very fucking hard. But at the end of the day, true talent is always gonna fucking win, as long as your head is fucking screwed on right. And he has a great fucking father in front of him, and people need to like not forget that he's not someone that is like, maybe his mouth like writes checks for him that can't be cashed yet, but like he has a good head on his shoulders. Like, when have you ever really seen him like do anything fucking crazy or any of that? His dad has him like on the right path. He's not gonna fuck this up.
Yeah, he ain't getting married with no prenups to gold. No, you never know.
No. Hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard, man. Hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. And that man seems to have a bit of both. And one of the things that it looks like he has more than anything is hard work. He is with the hard work. It ain't nothing that we can say about any of the other quarterbacks that were drafted ahead of him that were even in similar situations that he had, and he still led the FBS. You understand what I'm saying? But it's neither here nor there. But like you said, it's a media thing that is so awesome that he's, it's also ever since training camp has begun, all they talk about now is his ascension and how by week 5, he could be the starting QB by the gauntlet that they go through, or he could actually win the week 1 job. It's fucking crazy. You understand what I'm saying? With the limited reps that he gets as a 5th-round quarterback. This makes no sense at all.
Yeah. But moving on, speaking of hard work, speaking of talent, let's talk about the New York Knicks. I can't even say that seriously. So one thing we haven't talked about on this podcast, the New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau. How are we feeling about it? As the Knicks fan, I will open this up gladly.
Yeah.
Listen, man, did the Knicks go further than they ever, have in my fucking lifetime? Yes. Or, well, as far as they've ever gone in my lifetime? Yes. But I have to stay consistent. I have been asking for Tom Thibodeau to be removed from the hot seat 4 years now. I have to stay consistent with that. I've been back and forth with it, but now that he's gone, I have to stick with it. Thibodeau, like his coaching, I explain it as he has a high floor. He does not have a high ceiling. His ceiling, it will only go as far as the talent will truly take it. But in situations when you run into a team that actually hoops, like the Indiana Pacers, the Thibodeau system is going to die every time. We've seen it last year against the same exact fucking team. There was no improvements, but there were better players. I don't care if it was around further. It's the same exact team, and there was no improvements made whatsoever at all. And you had better players on the court that were healthy and everything, but that's not the main point. He had no answer for McCall Bridges all year, had no way to fit him into his, big Thibodeau system. He wasn't aggressive with Karl Anthony Towns when he needed to be aggressive with him the most. His old school coaching fucking cooked the Knicks on so many occasions during the playoffs. It's just the same results every time. Because like I said, these 2 series against the Pacers, the series against the Heat, the Thibodeau system dies somewhere every single time. And listen, I love Thibs. I thank him tremendously. That was the first good Knicks coach that the Knicks have had in so fucking long, since Mike Woodson, bro. And like that, like, was Mike Woodson a good coach? That's still fucking debatable. Was Mike D'Antoni a good coach? That's still fucking debatable. Like, we would have to go far, far back to find a coach that matches Tom Thibodeau. I get that. I understand that. But the New York Knicks have one fucking goal, and that is to win the championship. Tom Thibodeau does not bring championships. I don't know what they're going to do, and we'll talk about that after we get, your guys' reactions to it. But I have to support it because you could just look at Tom Thibodeau, the way the basketball teams are ran, all the rumors and reports and everything that's ever been put out, and fuck you hypocrites that have also been fucking criticizing Tom Thibodeau year after year, and then all of a sudden saying the Knicks should have not have fired Tom Thibodeau. Oh, what are they doing? Anyway, I digress.
All I'm going to say is 2 episodes ago, my boy Tom said, I think Tom Thibodeau got it figured out.
Masterclass.
I think Tom Thibodeau got it figured out. The masterclass is coming. But anyway, I digress.
I was a sucker for the moment. It's the Knicks.
I digress. I 100% agree with everything you're saying. What you said, actually, as far as he has a high floor but not a high ceiling, I 100% agree with. He will get your team to where they need to get, but you need the players to, or like what you said exactly. But I think they should. Yeah, I think they should have not fired him until they knew they had a good enough replacement, because they're over here calling all these teams to get a meeting with their already head coaches. And these are teams that want to be competing. So why are these teams that are wanting to be competing going to give you a ring to their head coach? Like Ime Udoka, you think Houston, the 2nd seed, is going to want to give you a meeting with Ime Udoka? No. Dallas, who they have championship aspirations with this AD trade, do you think they're going to want to give you a Jason Kidd call? No. But this upcoming week, though, they do have interviews with Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins and everything. So maybe something will come out of that. I think they should have just held off until they for sure had a replacement. But again, I think it was, you have the players, but you need the guy that will lead the players to victory. So I think it was right.
Before Kem goes, I will say this about you can't fault the Knicks for trying to go after good coaching. That's
you can't
first
fault
and foremost.
them, but those are the only options they went for at first, and it's just like
right. Now, Mike Brown, I somewhat like it because Mike Brown does give you winning hoops for a year before he absolutely fucking falls off the face of the earth. That's usually always how it goes. He looks good in the beginning. Maybe that'll be good enough to get the Knicks somewhere. Good redemption story, really trying to change his, figure in the league. I like the Taylor Jenkins thing because Taylor Jenkins, I think he suffered from being in a locker room with a bunch of motherfuckers that just wouldn't listen to him after a while. And I think, the Knicks, they're a bunch of mature players. They want to win. And I think you got to just get a coach that wins in there. And I do think Taylor Jenkins would be a decent fit.
So the crazy thing about this, I like everything that both of you guys said, but some of the stuff y'all are leaving out as it pertains to everything we talk about.
Can always be filling the gaps. Can be filling the
gaps. That's why us three are perfect.
The last part y'all kind of went into was about the players. Okay, so the players also wanted Tibbs gone. I know that you guys know this. The players actually wanted him gone. So, like Matt alluded to a bit earlier, and Tom, the misuse of the Iron Man, who was one of the first people to actually come out about Tibbs' system, who never complains about anything. You understand what I'm saying?
He don't be saying shit. He
just, at all. He exists and actually goes to work
every day.
The misuse of him throughout this season is kind of crazy. I think the no to all of these coaches only put something into play for the Knicks. Now, here's like we said about the gaps. What I think this does is with the big free agency looming, that we're going to kind of get into what the Knicks need and kind of stuff like that. But with the big free agency looming, I think that, remember, the Knicks are in high contention right now. Some of these other teams, like we put Houston up there, Quinn Snyder shot them down too. Minnesota, a lot of these other teams are within this trade lottery type of deal, or the trade thing that we have going on as well. I think after the Knicks' final roster is set, after trade season, I'm talking about before the midseason type thing, at the end, of the playoff. I mean, once the finals are done and all of the rosters and everything get kind of all the trades and all that stuff kind of goes through, that's when the Knicks will actually get their coach. I think that they're still going to have these little, functional,
It's an important
you
fucking
know what I mean?
decision to make.
Yeah, these little functional meetings and hiring interviews that they're going to do with Mike Malone and stuff like that. But I think the people that they targeted are the people that they want. You know what I mean? I think that Ime kid, you know what I mean, are the, the cream of the crop. I think Minnesota's coach, they also won as well, like really, really bad. But you don't know until after the rosters are done. So that is a glimmer of hope for you, Tom. You understand what I'm saying? Like real talk.
And,
like even though they were said no, that's just permission to talk to these guys.
And
Those teams, the teams
I was actually
said
gonna
no.
go off about that.
Yeah, the teams said no.
Just because the team says no doesn't mean these coaches can, willingly leave their contract to do so. I mean, Jason Kidd, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Dallas traded for him.
Yeah, and let's go right into Jason Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
On the Knicks would be fucking perfect because you think of, the time that he spent in New York as a player, both on, I know it was New Jersey, but he still, was on the Nets, in the area, ended his career on the Knicks, all the head coaching up and downs. I think Jason Kidd would be perfect for the job because, like, realistically, you think Jason Kidd has to be sweating this decision because you have two decisions here. One, do you go to the fucking Knicks who just fired Tom Thibodeau? You don't do good, you're going to get fired, and you're going to be the laughing stock like you were in Milwaukee. Or do you try to make this work with the Mavericks who are going to have so much, like it's going to be like almost a toxic pressure that's going to be going on in Dallas where you have to succeed. If the Mavericks don't succeed, they're going to look so dumb for that Luka trade. But not only that, you're also tasked with the development of Cooper fucking Flag. Now, on top of all this, that's another layer of pressure.
Coach. He's a great development.
Yeah,
he is. Everybody loves
so
him.
It's, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like this decision for Jason Kidd is absolutely insane. I do not, wish I was in his shoes. I mean, he's going to get paid well regardless.
Oh,
but,
yeah. I mean,
if I had a pick for the New York Knicks head coach, I know I said good things about Taylor Jenkins. I don't want Mike Malone because his strategies are very similar to Tibbs. Yeah. I would love for Jason Kidd there, but I also love Billy Donovan. Like I wouldn't mind that either. He's a very fucking good coach. I know the Bulls haven't had that much success, but I also think that's more so front office than it ever has been. Billy Donovan. I think he's squeezed as much as he's possibly could out of those Bulls every year.
He couldn't do it with the Thunder, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know about Billy, bro.
Yeah, he had KD, Russ, and Harden. He didn't make that work, so I don't know.
No, that was Scotty. That was Scott Brooks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Scott Brooks. It was.
I love Scotty though.
After,
but he's done. But listen, they've been throwing around Rajon Rondo too, man. So
I have heard that. I don't know how that would work. See, I hate having coaches, like first time coaches that have never been an assistant before. It's just like build your repertoire a little bit.
But JJ never was into none of that.
I wasn't.
JJ never did that
first either. I had good because his IQ was crazy, and him being on the podcast made me be like, all right, he understands this level of like intricate ball. And Rondo has been on some like sports like talk shows as well and shit. So like I've understood that his level of
I would love Rondo as an assistant, man.
But it always scares me. That's all. It's just like not that I don't think they're ready, but it scares me being like, damn, because if they don't do good, they're gonna get shuttered through the whole league. No one's gonna want to pick them up because they didn't build the repertoire yet. I think the Knicks either should, of course, try to get J. Kidd, of course, or look at some of these high-level assistants that are ready to move the fuck up. There's
with the level of talent that. But the hard part is that's the other thing about the Knicks is the level of talent that the Knicks have. It's not going to be just anybody. That's why they targeted the people that they targeted initially. You know what I mean? Because they can't just grab anybody. And then if they even with the Lakers and grabbing JJ, him and LeBron put on a virtuoso performance for a job interview that you could ever do. You understand what I'm saying? Like real shit. They put on the craziest job interview.
What's going on with Steve Nash.
You know what I mean? Like real talk. So I mean, he failed though. We seen Steve Nash in Brooklyn and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know about that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like real talk
too. He had no.
Yeah, like I don't know about
now
that.
He's
you know what I'm saying?
In the league. No one.
Yes.
That's
but
for Rondo.
Yeah, but the only thing I would say about Rondo is that we seen, so even when we put him in, when calling him the system and putting him in our system category on our last episode. Remember, he was put into that system. When we're talking about Rondo and like JJ Redick, these guys are guys that create systems. Fucking Rondo took over the offensive play calling of the coach that y'all hate the most,
Yeah.
that has a championship in recent memory. You know what I'm saying? Doc Rivers. It is on record, you know what I'm saying, that he would re-huddle after whatever he ran. Like, nah, this is, you understand, this is what we're going to,
Yeah,
and
they
it
would go
worked.
into a timeout. Doc Rivers would write
Yes.
something up. They would say break. They'd go back to the
Yes.
court, and he'd huddle
Mhm.
them up and be like, no. This is what we're
Mhm.
doing. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
mad reports of that. Yeah.
So
I
I
have
think
a
that just those relations, I think just kind of go across board. Another reason why I think Chauncey Billups is actually, he doesn't have much to work with, but I think that he gets the best out of what he has. You know what I mean? Through that.
he's been a good player development coach too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of those players that are making strides with
Mhm.
Chauncey Billups have lament I don't even fucking know the word for it, but they have alluded to the
Mhm.
fact that Chauncey Billups has been the one to help them kind of take the
Mhm.
next step in their games.
Mhm.
Because we know the Blazers, they have a bunch of all these talented players that they're
Mhm.
just trying to
Get
figure
Shaden
out
Sharp
the.
more minutes. I love Shaden Sharp, man.
Yo, Matt's been
Trade-
on this train for
Trade Anthony
another.
Simons and Jeremy Grant. Get Shaden Sharp, Denny Advia, and Scoot Henderson more minutes.
Yes.
And now, don't laugh at me for this take, but I think an underrated hire for the Knicks would be Monty Williams. The reason why I say
Okay.
that is because Monty Williams has experience with putting McCall Bridges in the places he needs to go. And I think at the end of that Phoenix Suns tenure, listen, I get he failed on Detroit. I completely get that. That was embarrassing.
Mhm.
I will say that. How bad he did with the Detroit Pistons was embarrassing. But he's a good coach at the end of the day. Good coaches do have some embarrassing moments. I mean, Thibs had those when he went to Minnesota, and then at the end of his Bulls run. But Monty Williams, I think, would be perfect because again, he had to deal with DeAndre Ayton being an absolute fucking diva, Chris Paul absolutely being a fucking the headstrong dude that he is. Devin Booker, I don't think Devin Booker just fucking balls. He's turning into Kevin Durant at this point. He just shows up to fucking ball. But McCall Bridges, like he put Bridges in perfect spots to look like the best two-way player in the league. I honestly think with a bunch of mature players that the Knicks have, because that's the thing that separates the Knicks from some of these other teams is that they have a bunch of maturity in those players that they have. I think Monty Williams wouldn't be such a bad
And you
fit.
might be able to get Monty for the cheap because he got bought out
Yeah.
of his last two contracts that were worth like $75 million.
Bro, just give
Yes.
him like
So he's
$5,
got the
man.
bag. He got signed to the biggest coaching contract of all time in
Yeah.
Detroit. One season later, they bought it all out. It was worth like $60 million,
Yeah.
and then he got bought out for the rest of his.
Come on, come get
contract,
your fucking legacy chip, man. Like let's go. $5 a year. No, but what do you guys think that the Knicks need to do from a player standpoint?
So just before you guys start getting lofty out here, I don't know what your guys' predictions are, but they're over the first apron. So without trades being made, like to some of their key guys, they only have their mid-level taxpayer exception. So that means they only got $5 million to spend out. So, but I also think this team 1 year together, like as far as like core pieces, 1 year together, they made it to the conference finals. I don't think you change much other than, of course, a head coach and maybe using that $5 million to get some type of key player for the low that isn't getting paid out there. But I don't really think you need to change much for this team. There's like a lot of talks of Brunson needs that second guy, this, that.
Cat
Is
is the
that
second
second
guy,
guy.
and Bridges
If
should
you
be
get a
efficient enough to be that second guy
if you
some
get a
night.
comparable head coach that, like you both just said, will use Michael the right way, then you have your second and third guy there, and then Anunoby can do whatever you need him to do. He showed that at the end of the season when
Yeah.
Brunson was down. Motherfucker was putting up 30 like every night for like 2 weeks. Like, I don't think you guys need to change much. But yeah, they only got $5 million to spend, so they can't bring in much unless they make a trade of Bridges or
It's a package.
yeah.
Yeah, they got to put a package together.
Yeah.
So for me, for a standpoint, I say the first thing is do something with the bench depth, right?
Yeah.
Last in the whole league all season in bench production. We know that that's a byproduct of how Tibbs runs his system, but I
Mm-hmm.
would still say, you know what I mean, do something about that bench depth. Then I would also say some defensive upgrades to go along with Obi. Maybe a bigger guard. Interchange. Payne. You know what I mean, for maybe you know what I mean, get him out of there. Even though I appreciate him and all that, because I think Deuce needs to stay.
100%.
You know what I mean.
100%.
I think because he is that. Oh
He was
shit.
frozen. He was frozen for a minute. I
Oh,
was
got
looking
you.
at that.
Okay, bet. I
He'll
was
come back.
wondering.
He'll come back.
Yeah.
Continue. Fuck that.
Yes, but yeah, I would say Deuce. You know what I mean? They would have to keep Deuce. And then because because at the end of the day they need something to level themselves up against them faster paced teams, like
Yeah.
because they're big, you know what I mean, but at the end of the day they need something to kind of level out. So maybe a versatile defender that would be reliable, something to match up with Mitch, because I know, again, as we talking about
He said his internet went out. Just continue.
yeah, I know as we're talking about Mitch, you know what I mean? He did good and everything, but he needs some help
Yes.
because we already know that Cat is not going to do that. So with knowing Cat is not going to do that, it's important and imperative that they go ahead and get him some help. Another dependable, you know what I mean? Something dependable just for rebounding and rim protecting. And then they need another true superstar. I'm gonna be honest. I know I said Karl Anthony Towns was a superstar last episode, but you just totally and thoroughly explained how the second apron works. You gotta pay as much as you pay to bring back in, rather. So with $5 million, you gotta add something to it to get something of equal value back in.
Yes.
Right? Now I don't know if that means package up Karl Anthony or anything like that, but what I am going to say,
getting them far.
you know what I mean? Listen, when you got Durant and Antetokounmpo out there, you know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, listen, man. You know what I mean? You know, Giannis ain't going nowhere. We know KD ain't, because I got something better, I think, for KD, but it was just something I wanted to just throw out there for the Knicks fans. You understand what I'm saying? But listen, man, last but not least, man, I think that they should either, get to developing some of this young talent. I mean, they did this shit with Mitchell.
Point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, develop some of this young talent, man. They gotta fucking get these guys some minutes. Just let it go.
I wouldn't be mad if they brought in Taylor Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins is one of the best development coaches in the league.
Yeah, man.
You have Ariel Hukporti, you have Tyler Kolek, Deuce McBride's already great, but you have somebody like that to get these other guards and wings some reps out there. And then, like you were saying, get somebody to help Mitch. Like, yeah, your backup center all year was Precious Achua. Like,
they need real one.
Like, I like Precious, but like he's not to that level. Get somebody worth something. Shit, a Luke Cornett would be a good addition as a backup big on this team. He's a free agent this year. I 100% agree with what you're saying, but damn, a trade. I just don't. I 100% agree. Brunson needs a second superstar. I just think, and given I said Cat wasn't a superstar last episode, but I think Cat is a good enough number 2 when he shows up. It's just like, is he going to show up? He needs the right system to show up, and that depends on the coach. So it's all just variable. It's like a seesaw right now. Like, I don't know which way it's going to go, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure as far as
and the things that are available right now, those 2 that are available for Knicks fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know that is proven consistency and scoring.
Yeah, I would definitely send out a package for Giannis for sure, especially because Giannis wants to stay in the East if he were to get traded. And given I don't think he's going to get traded, I think he should, but I don't think he's gonna. But but I would definitely send out a package just to hear a response. If you don't get a response, whatever. Yeah. But if somebody replies and been like, let's talk about it, then hey, wait, it might get the ball rolling a little bit.
Yeah, man. It's hard to tell, bro.
Yeah, 100% hard to tell. But shit, I don't know what's going on with Tommy boy.
Yeah, bro. I don't want to go into the next one.
I don't want to go too far.
Yeah.
Shit. Let's see.
He said his internet out. Pay goddamn Spectrum, man.
Pay it. Shit. I mean, yeah. What do we have next? So next would be free agency and draft takes. Oh, there you go back.
There you go.
We just backed up and we didn't move on too far without you, but you came back. We just finished up.
There he is.
My bad.
No,
You
you're
guys
good.
got through your Knicks takes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
All
got
right. So
through everything.
my only take, in regards to the players is I agree mostly, with you, Matt. I think the Knicks should keep it the same. Tired of hearing about this Giannis shit. Tired of hearing about this Kevin Durant shit. Do I love Giannis and Kevin Durant? I absolutely love Giannis and Kevin Durant. I love those dudes. But do I think it's right for the Knicks right now? No. Like you said, we got $5 million to spend on some, mid-level exception bullshit salary cap thing going on. But listen, I think what the Knicks should do is they need a scorer off the bench. They need to figure out a way to do that. I love Josh Hart, but Josh Hart kind of showed you, that we have everything that he brings. We have the rebounders, we have the hustlers, we have that game and many different players that we have right now. I kind of think it would be smart to cut ties with Josh Hart if it means trading and bringing in a scorer, because that's what the Knicks need off the bench. They just need someone to come in and score. And randomly, I don't know if it would work, but the first random name that pops into my head is someone like Jordan Clarkson, just someone that could come in and give you some hoops, give Jalen Brunson, Cameron Payne. Landry Shamet, thank you for everything you did and ever done, but like Jalen Brunson needs a real one behind him to give him that break, and it needs to be a scorer that could come in and handle that ball. That's my take on the whole Knicks thing.
So I didn't even fucking think about Josh Hart at all when I was talking. So
But I am. Go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
one thing that popped in my head right when you said that. So one guy that I think would be great off your bench, because I would think spend that little $5 million to get
Like
like
a
some
pig.
type of get like
Yeah.
to get who the hell did I say Luke Cornett for the Celtics. He's a
Yeah.
great backup big, something like
Yeah.
him. But if you can somehow get the right money together, and you maybe put a couple draft picks together and Josh Hart, you can go get Anthony Simons. I feel like he would be a great backup
Damn.
because he's already like a good starter, but not good enough to lead something. You were to
Yeah.
bring him in and kind of be the initiator for a bench squad, and they are looking to trade him off. You put a pick or two together with Josh Hart, that wouldn't be terrible. First thing that came to mind when you mentioned it, but I didn't even think about Josh Hart. What were you about to say, Cam?
I don't know. You scaring me. I don't know, man. Y'all scaring me because now y'all changing the Knicks up. You know what I mean? Like you're changing the
Yeah.
Knicks up.
I
That
wouldn't
Well,
like
it's already
some of,
changed with
Josh Hart.
Dibs. You know what I mean?
no, no. I think that
Yeah.
the core because Josh does all of the intangibles. He is
Yeah.
besides Jalen Brunson, he is the other Nick. Like he is the other embodiment of New York. You understand what I'm saying? I don't give a shit how good OG is. No, I'm being honest. I'm talking about just the
No, you're right.
embodiment
It's the
of
way
the
you
New
say
York
things
Knicks.
is just
You understand what I'm
hilarious.
saying? Like not being funny or nothing. Like I love how they get down, but I'm talking about the embodiment of the Knicks. That is Josh Hart and that is Jalen Brunson. That
Yeah,
is
I agree.
hard body, you know what I'm saying? Pretty niggas. Like, you know what I mean? This is what we do. We get dressed. Nah, literally. Nah, we ain't gotta play. Like, come on, man. We like to keep it. We like to keep
That
it
wasn't
right.
funny?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it was, but like, no, that's how we get down. So they embody that. Them dudes don't look like they get busy and get busy. You understand what I'm saying? So
100%.
that's just the point that I'm trying to make. So it's a really cool dynamic I think that they have. I think that the Nova Nick thing is old. I don't really care about that too much, but I just think that those two kind of embodiment. I do believe that there's a package on the table that is going to have to be put together because they need something, bro. Like we kind of went through it while you were going, Tom, but it was cool. I gave a little thing about Giannis and fucking what's the name, and it was funny. The first thing you said, "Fuck the Giannis and the KD shit," so it was kind of dope. But yeah, man, we're gonna kind of see, man. We're gonna see, man.
Hell yeah.
Not to scare you though, Cam. Like I said, I don't want them to move anybody. So I don't think they
Sheesh.
should move Josh Hart. But if they were gonna, maybe get
Yeah.
a high
Just
level
because the Knicks
scorer off
need
the
like
bench.
a shooter scorer like off that bench that could just come in and
I
get
don't think they
buckets.
should move him. He, like I said, like you said, he's heart and soul of that team. But like,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I think if you were gonna, maybe somebody like a high level scorer like Anthony Simons. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be that's a good idea.
They do need more buckets though, without a question.
100%. But
So-
also, like, it could have been a Tibbs thing. He just didn't have them out on the floor enough. So
Mhm.
Yeah, because I mean, I think like if you open up Bridges' scoring and make him an actual scoring threat, I think it solves a lot of the issues that the Knicks had.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any
Yeah.
free agency draft takes? Listen, I'll say this. I'm kind of sold on Dylan Harper going to the Spurs. I hope the Spurs don't move that pick. I hope
They
they're
said they're not gonna.
yeah. I hope they stay there. They pick him. I think they have a nice, beautiful future with him, Castle, Wemby. Fox is going to be in there for a couple years. Hopefully, God willing, all that money shit. I think they got something really good and healthy growing. I just hope they don't get too fancy with everything going on.
I love this upcoming draft. Like last year, I was real like about the draft. I said maybe there could be a couple guys that
Yeah,
could eventually become all stars. I said Castle. I said Sar. I think I maybe said one more, but this year is filled with potential all star talent. 1 through like 7, I could maybe see as like locks to being potential talents,
yeah,
and then like 8 through fucking 20 you can make arguments for. I love this draft. There's so much talent. And yeah, Dylan Harper is such a fucking dog. If Cooper Flag wasn't in this draft, Dylan Harper could go one in most drafts, in my
that
opinion.
guy.
If
Yeah,
Dylan Harper, if you don't put him up in a draft where there's a Wemby or a Cooper Flag, he's going one in most drafts. Dylan Harper is that guy. He can play the 1 or 2. He can play on off ball. His dribbling is insane. His motion movement is fucking clear. Only thing he really needs to work on is his outside shooting. Inside, fucking 20 feet, he can do whatever the fuck you want. And his outside shooting, it's not like it's broke or nothing. He shows signs of being a good shooter. He just doesn't do it much. I love that motherfucker. I love how he plays. It's just damn, they got mad guards now
gonna be
over in
stacked.
San Antonio now. So it's like, how you gonna make that work? I'm not sure, but whoever picks him up, they're getting a great player.
Yeah, I just hope it isn't Philly, but
Fuck Philly. They don't deserve this pick. They don't fucking
yeah,
deserve it. I don't care.
Okay.
yeah,
So I'll let you guys stay on the draft and I'll go to the trades. Okay. So the biggest name in trade, let's just go to the biggest name who we know is leaving, right? I think you got his jersey on, right, bro?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
That's one of his homes. That's one of his homes, right? But listen, let's play what if, right?
Right.
The teams that have the most at stake in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes are going to be the teams with the highest trade capital or the trade assets, right?
Right.
And I think if we broke them down, that would be Brooklyn, San Antonio, Utah, and Houston.
Yep.
Exactly, right? That's all of
100%.
them. I think Brooklyn. I think the sneaky big one though would actually be Brooklyn, right? Because they got the most, like right now when thinking about that. Okay. Now I don't think that they're in play as we know that he already went there.
Yeah,
So
no.
let's start with who is actually in play, right? I'm gonna say the Timberwolves, right? So it came out that if it was a good package where he were to go to the Timberwolves, it would be Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, Mike Conley, and a first round pick. They would be able to keep Jaden Daniels. And how do you guys feel about that?
So I haven't heard that one yet. What I've heard the most is a sign and trade with Randall
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
DiVincenzo and then a first or two. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mad at that because then you re-sign Nas, have him come back as your full-time center.
Mm-hmm.
Katie will just take the spot of Randall at the 4, or you play him down to the 3, Daniels to the 2, which is weird because they're really big, and then you still bring back Randall. But no, I'm not mad at that. You Gobert, he does what he can do, but every
Mm-hmm.
playoffs he has a limit, and we've seen it year after year, playoff after playoff experience. And the rumor they made an offer to Phoenix at the trade deadline. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't get put through. They didn't want to trade Kitty, even though they should have because
Mm-hmm.
they sucked.
He working with his business
Yeah,
manager now though, so
100%.
it's
Yeah,
getting done. Yeah,
exactly.
it's getting done.
But I don't know, man. I
So
don't
if he
know if
went to
that
Houston,
puts them over. I don't know.
okay,
I'll
all
say,
right, bet.
all right, so I'll say this. Listen, fuck the Heat. They're not getting him. I don't think Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Durant truly
Yeah,
wants to
fuck the Heat.
go. Well, so because it's down to 3 teams right now. It's down to the Timberwolves, the Heat, and the Rockets. That's who
Yes.
it's down to
Yes.
right now. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
finalists for
Yes.
it. The
Mm-hmm.
Spurs are out. The Knicks are out. That's the
Yes.
recent report. The Heat, it would just be terrible for Kevin Durant to go there and
What's
try
the
to carry
package
because
look like?
I got the packages right here. So let me finish, Tom.
Yeah.
If he went to the Rockets, it would be Dylan Brooks, Cam Whitmore, Jason Tate, Jeff Green, Jock Landale, and 2 first-round picks to Phoenix in exchange for Durant, Bol, Monte Morris, and Damian Lee.
Where are you seeing that?
I got it all right here. This is from Bleacher. This is from Bleacher.
From what I've been seeing is that
this is Bleacher. Pull up Bleacher right now.
The only way that the Rockets are going to be able to get Kevin Durant is if they give up one of Jabari Smith or Jalen Green. That's what I've been seeing a lot. And then for the Timberwolves, I've seen, like what Matt said, that it's going to be Julius Randle, because there's no way in hell they're just going to give up Rudy Gobert like this after giving up 5 fucking first for him. Mm-hmm. So my opinion on that is that I really think that he's going to be a Minnesota Timberwolf, and if they do it to where they give up Julius Randle and DiVincenzo and maybe like a couple firsts or whatever, I think the Timberwolves are going to win the NBA championship next year. I think Ant and Kevin Durant are going to be such a solid duo with McDaniels backing them up. All they would have to do is get a responsible big man back up around Rudy Gobert, and I think that is perfect, because there's no chance if Minnesota gives up Rudy Gobert like that, they're basically admitting that trading all them first for Rudy Gobert was a giant mistake, and I think they're too headstrong for that, especially with the
his performance shows you that they gave up too much for him. They're not using him in the playoffs. They need to get off of him. He does not fit their style.
The reason why they didn't use Gobert in the playoffs is because Julius Randle is a fucking sorry ass big man to put next to Rudy Gobert.
They gonna fucking clear that shit if they want to.
I don't think that matters. I don't think that it matters that they paid him anymore. That shit is over. I think that's over. They didn't use him. Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, and I don't think like the Rockets are gonna, like, if the Rockets do give up one of Jabari or Jalen Green along with like Dylan Brooks and other stuff, I think they'd be out of their goddamn mind. I think Kevin Durant's like a beautiful, perfect fit in Minnesota, and I think it gives them what they need, because then all they need to do after that is, like I said, get a point guard, get an extra big, which they have a couple in the wings. But
I also, I'm gonna be real at this point, motherfucker's 36, 37. It's just like, how much are you?
He only has like 2 more years left.
Yeah. How much are you giving up for this guy that you have 2 years with, and if you aren't the right situation, given he's a guy, like you said, could fit into any situation, but a guy who just doesn't fully affect the game anymore, which we've seen and we've all said over time. So how much are you really giving up? And then if it comes into a bidding war like it's about to, how much, like, who's going to pull out first? Because it's not, I'm going to keep going. It's who's going to give up because they don't want to keep going.
Right.
So if we're talking basketball, though, he is still the top 3 bucket getter in basketball at 37 years old.
He just needs to
we laud how LeBron James is 40 years old and still can do what he do. So the way that Kevin Durant performs has not diminished in any way, just like LeBron James. I don't think that he impacts winning the same way that he did, but that's why these situations are also a part of budding superstar-ridden teams. Even if you were to put him in Miami and get rid of Andrew Wiggins and shit down there and Duncan Robinson, they would still be kind of contending. But the crazy shit about it,
championship contending team.
No, the championship contending team, I believe, is only with Minnesota because of the development of Anthony Edwards at this time. But I don't believe that his age, it's only his winning. That number, the amount of fouls that he gets every night and the points that his point production, like, it's crazy, bro. You can't, it's one of those things. And then defensively, he can do whatever you need him to do on any team on the wing too. So it's a really good thing for any of those teams that get him. But I think in all truth that if it's anywhere, it's going to be Minnesota.
You insert him into Minnesota, he'll have that defense around him to where he doesn't have to focus too heavily on defense. He'll have Ant to take over when they need to take over. But if you put him in Houston, they still don't have that guy that can take over when they need to take over, in the end. So Kevin Durant's going to have that pressure once again to bring a team, to that next spot. Like, he goes to the Heat, he's going to have that pressure again. At this point of the career, like you said, with the way he doesn't really affect winning like that no more as a number 1 guy, he needs to go to Minnesota, be the number 2 guy, and it could be much like Golden State, where he's not the main focus of everything. and he can kind of just move freely and just be whatever you really need him to be on any given night.
And that's when he performs.
Even ESPN is saying that if the Timberwolves are going to make an offer, it would be Gobert, DiVincenzo, and Rob Dill, which I don't want to give up. Rob Dill. You're not going to have Mike Conley much longer. You're going to need a full-time guard. Developing Rob Dill should be a number one priority.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of signs are showing that it's Gobert, not Randall, in this package.
Yes, it's Gobert, bro.
Why would you keep
like at a bunch of different sources, and they're all saying Gobert?
Yeah, I think I think that the time of saving face is over. It's about development
unless they get rid of Randall too and bring in another center, but like that's disgusting.
Well, you got Naz Reid, you're going to be probably re-signing, so.
Yeah, but then now you're going to be asking him to be a starter because if you re-sign him, what money are you going to have to get you a starting?
When he was a starter this year as a power forward when Randall was out, he was lighting the fuck up, going crazy. So, given that was at power forward, when you got Gobert as your defensive anchor right behind you, it's a little easier to do what you want.
It'll be interesting.
But it'll be interesting. It's definitely interesting. I think the Wolves do have the best. I think he would work the best on the Wolves. I think the Houston probably got the best chance because Houston has the Suns picks. So if the Suns can get some of their picks back, Houston makes the most sense for the Suns. I think the Wolves probably is the better spot for him to land.
And if he ends
up, they would only get one pick.
They
only get one pick from Minnesota, but they get two from Houston.
Yeah, and if they can make one of those two picks, the sources that I just looked at said the 10th pick, which is I'm pretty sure theirs, and then the future would be theirs as well. So they can get their 2 picks back. They know they're going to be shit. Maybe send off Booker because he doesn't want to be on a bad team. Get more picks back from that, then you never know.
And it's crazy because Bradley Beal says his family loves Phoenix and he ain't going. He ain't going
nowhere. Yeah,
that's why I didn't bring him up.
Oh yeah, they got the Suns have another
twice to a no trade clause.
Yeah, they got some rough hoops. They have some rough hoops coming up. But real quick,
Beal about to start averaging 30 again next year, boys.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 players in front of you guys, and all you guys got to do is either agree on who's better or argue on who's better.
Okay. We agreed a lot in the last episode. Let's lock
in. Let's see. All right. So I'm gonna start us off with a bang. Maybe this is an easy one. Maybe this is not. So prime Damian Lillard. We're talking about the prime. We're talking about Dame time. We're talking about all those game winners.
Doesn't move.
Or prime John Wall.
Prime Dame Lillard.
Prime Dame.
Okay.
So the only thing that made me think about it was the defense of John Wall. He was a dog. The playmaking was also awesome too, but he'd had that little run against the Celtics where he hit a game winner. He was putting up 40 and 12. He was going crazy. He was on the fucking stanchion going crazy when he hit that one shot.
Oh, that was a beautiful time to be alive. I'm not gonna
lie. Isaiah Thomas still won in the end and smoked them, but it's after his sister died too. Don't forget that. But
that was a series.
That was the prime of what we would have ever saw from John Wall.
And Isaiah Thomas. I mean, shit.
And as IT as well, but Dame has been better than that. Many times over.
I wanted to give you guys a nice little, alley-oop warm up.
Oh, alley-oop. Right. Okay. That was the alley-oop.
Oh, I fucked that up because who did I mean there? Oh, okay, yes. All right, my bad. Prime Derrick Rose. And then this is a common one. You guys know who I'm about to compare him to. Prime Derrick Rose or prime Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, I could think you're going there. So when I think prime Westbrook, I'm thinking 2017 50-point game versus the Nuggets. Game winner was the game that sealed him a playoff spot and a game that sealed him his triple-double crown.
Preach.
And that motherfucker shot that shit from 35 feet out.
Preach.
I'm going Russell Westbrook.
Brody.
Yeah.
Brody.
That one hurt you. I saw that look. That one hurt you. That one hurt you. You love Derrick Rose.
I love him too. So listen, Derrick Rose was a freak athlete, man. Listen, man, one of those guys that Tom Thibodeau was able to rise and ride the back off of.
100%.
Simply put.
And realistically, Derrick Rose, Maybe he played 3-4 more healthy years. Could have went to the heights of something that's even better than what Russell Westbrook, but we just never got the opportunity to see.
You got to bang them knees up, man.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a part of this argument, so I'll leave my opinion out of it. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just say I would side with Derrick Rose for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah,
and we didn't know he was doing this, y'all. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, join the conversation.
We don't know what's
going
going on.
Listen, when Derrick Rose was at the top of his game, that his winning basketball versus Russell Westbrook's winning basketball, two different things. It depends on what you want. Prime.
Whoa! Before you go, sometimes I like to tear your shit up. I want to hear what you meant. Oh, okay, bro. Like, oh my, hey Matt, you know my shit. Spidey sends me on.
I'll promise next episode it'll have its own segment. We'll argue Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook. But
bet my mind.
Prime Gilbert Arenas or prime Paul George.
Real quick before we even say anything, Ken. Yo, brother.
Damn, Ken.
Does Aaron Wiggins not look like a combination of Mikal Bridges and Gilbert Arenas? I was watching the game last night and they kept zooming in on Aaron Wiggins. I'm like, why the fuck does he look like Agent Zero?
He looks like
I agree. Just how he just hangs. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You said
Gilbert Prime Agent Zero and Paul George. Listen, I'm gonna be honest.
Prime Gilbert Arenas was special.
Prime. So listen, I'm about to tell y'all, and this is what I'm about to say. I shouted. I listen. So
you go.
All right, listen. All right, well now it's time to argue. Then King, we was riding together at first, but Prime Gil was Prime Gil against the motherfucking Mamba. Paul George was Prime Paul George against young figure it out LeBron. Not even the same prime.
I'm not even calling that Prime PG. I'm calling Prime PG when he was top 3 in MVP and top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. But went out first round.
Getting his head cracked. Yeah, getting his head cracked.
But
by figure it out LBJ.
Yeah, so if we're talking about that Pacers PG versus that Gilbert Arenas, I'm going Gilbert Arenas. Yes. Because that PG also wasn't figured out yet. He wasn't figured out at all. But if I'm going,
but was that his prime?
Or what would you? 2018 PG against Gilbert Arenas. I'm going 2018 PG.
Okay, I'm saying
he had the defense, he had the handles, he had the shot, he had. I get it, but he had the defense, the shot, the handles, rebounding, interior, 3-level scoring. He had it all. Gilbert Arenas was a fucking monster going downhill. Will catch you on anything. But I just feel like the defense alone helps me go to Paul George.
And listen, and I'm gonna get this to my young ones who I share the screen with, man, and who I spend time with weekly, man, where we do this. I understand that PG is the first actual builder player for my NBA 2K players. I know everybody tried to mock PG mode. You understand what I'm saying? Because once I seen everybody with a motherfucking biddy at the park and everything, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Listen, because that's something that I will never stop playing. But I want to be honest with y'all and say his bag was lovely. His D was good before he fucked up his leg, right? Now, the defense he played, oh, man, pause. Defense, yeah, I was. All I got to do is look at the screen and think about what I'm saying and shit. His defense was so good before he fucked up his leg and shit like that. But what I will say, man, is Agent Zero, like he just said, coming down here, pull up, pop, stop, jump over your head, everything. It was just something amazing to see at the Mamba era, at the end of the MJ era with Baron Davis and these other. Yo, this shit is man.
Aura? If we're going aura, it's Agent Zero by
far.
I'm telling you,
by far.
All right, so prime Blake Griffin or prime Amari Stoudemire.
So Cam, what's prime Blake Griffin? Let's narrow that down real quick. Are we going last healthy years with Pistons where he's got a shot, he's got passing?
You know,
or are we going?
So can I say something though? The crazy thing is that wasn't his prime, but that was the best Blake Griffin.
That was his best season, but that wasn't his prime.
Pistons?
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't his.
That was his best season by far. He was top 5 in MVP voting. He was shooting like 50, 40, 80.
He was top 5 in MVP voting as a Clipper. What are you talking about?
Maybe he was top 5 in MVP voting as a Clipper.
But he wasn't as a Piston.
He wasn't as a Piston?
No, but that season, he wasn't.
Then okay, but
no, that season was amazing. No, it wasn't. It was
Maybe
just an
not.
amazing season. Yes, it was. It was with Chris Paul and Jamal Crawford through the legs. Alley oop is his prime, jumping over the
Okay, copy,
Kia.
copy. If that's
You know what I
that's the
mean?
story, yeah.
Yeah, in the dunk contest, that's his
24,
prime.
24, 10, and 4,
Yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
52,
Mm-hmm.
percent
Mm-hmm.
field
Said who,
goal.
But
Amari? I'm
I'm
going.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. I'm
I'm
still
going.
going Amari though, bro. I'm still going Amari.
I think
Yes.
Amari was just the better version of Blake. I don't know, like
Mm-hmm.
a more complete
Mm-hmm.
version. Blake
Mm-hmm.
eventually became complete, but he was out of his prime towards then.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would say Amari.
Yeah, because a
Yes.
lot of people look at Steve Nash for the success of that, Sun stint, but man, Amari was really putting
What?
in
He didn't
fucking
have
What?
work,
Amari,
man.
that shit wouldn't have
What?
rolled the same.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
No.
All
Yes.
right, so here's a big one.
Real quick,
Controversial.
if you put Kenyon Martin in that same position, similar like skill set as Amari, but not as good, I don't think that team does nowhere near as good.
So I have a good one here. The last two are going to be controversial. You know me. So this one has been in my head for some reason for a little bit now, for a few weeks, watching him play, in the finals and against all these, other dudes. Pascal Siakam or Jimmy Butler.
Oh.
Prime?
We saying prime on all these, right?
Prime, like who would you put ahead of the other, just in general?
See, I'm
I'm
Siakam or
going.
Butler?
going Jimmy.
Yeah, man. Like, come on, bro. Stop playing. I know he got
Only
it.
ring so far. So far, the only ring that Pascal has won, he was a third option on.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he's been a great all-star type player since then, but this right here is the first time he's ever been part of another team going to the finals. And yeah, he's the highest scorer on that team. Is he most important? That's
Mr.
arguable.
Consistent.
Jimmy has been the most important player on both of the finals
Okay.
runs he's made. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, have I had my gripes with Jimmy fucking Butler? Yes. Do I like to shit on Jimmy Butler for some of the things he says and does? Yes. But he is a phenomenal player, and he is the reason
Yeah.
both of those teams went to the finals.
Preach, little bruh. I ain't mad. I don't gotta say shit today. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the last one,
He said that was a spicy one. Get the hell out of here.
all time Kevin Durant, all time Larry Bird.
So not even prime, just all time. Oh, all time.
What are you doing,
I got Kevin
B?
Durant as my third small forward of all time. I got Bird as my second. So I mean, I'm going Bird.
Damn, Kevin. He's like, ugh.
So
I'll tell you right now, I'm going with Kevin Durant.
I got Bird.
me too, bro. So listen, I'm gonna be honest. I got to see some of the latter years of Bird. I got to see seeing the latter years, I got to see a lot of old games through tape, and then of course, the advent of YouTube and all that other shit. But being honest, man, I ain't a complete package, right? I seen a lot of white boy point guards, shit like that. But a complete package. I'm being honest, man. There hasn't. I mean, Dirk wasn't nowhere near Luka. I'm talking about even his tenacity. What they're talking about, like that little thing that everybody wants from Luka, that also is the edge that you see from physique. You know what I mean? That you like impose yourself on him. Larry Bird had that shit. You understand? I'm being serious, man. This motherfucker was the real deal. But when you talk about the 6'10", 6'11", 7'6" wingspan of Kevin Durant, being able to pull up, do whatever you need him to do at every level, and being able to literally at the height of his career, let's use the Golden State years, listen, all NBA defensive. You know what I mean? Like he played hella D. He know how to play D. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry, man. And Larry Bird ain't really never had to jump a day in his life. So I'm gonna go with KD. Yeah.
All right, no, I respect it. I just feel like Bird. People say he wouldn't be able to play in this era because he's too slow. We have a Jokic. We have
That's
a
not
Luka.
true.
So
Yeah,
he
that's
would
not
be
true.
able to play in this era, and I think he would.
I said that
thrive
day one
in
of our
this era.
podcasts.
I know. Yeah, our first opening tape.
Why you say that, bro?
You said that
Controversy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes I gotta look at you and be wait.
Bird would play this era with ease, and he would
Fucking
thrive
right.
in this era. He would be a
Yes.
triple menace.
I
in this
will.
his 3-point game would open the fuck up. Like,
Come
well,
on,
he only got
bro.
like 300 fucking makes in his career because they didn't shoot like that back then. He would have
Yes.
thousands of makes in this era.
Yes.
And
And he got work.
And yeah, it's just like he was a rebounding specialist. He could play the 3 or 4. He could pass the fucking ball. He had moves back then that translate exactly to today's game. I think he would be an easy 30-point per game scorer. He would
Yeah.
do it in a different way than Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant also was a 30-point per game scorer. I think those out of like you put any type of like who's better like positional wise, like you can say Magic or Steph, you can say Kobe.
Hmm.
Well, Kobe and Jordan's different because they're almost identical type of players. But
Hmm.
I think one of the hardest at competitions to like bring out or comparisons is a KD and Bird because they play completely different. Their
Yeah.
two body types are really different. But I just what Bird was able to do in that era just holds more weight to me than what KD was able to do
Okay.
with how KD did it. That's the only thing.
Hmm.
If we're
Hmm.
going a 1-on-1 in the park, I'm going KD. But as far as
He's big
who's
in that old fuck.
as far as as far as who because he's
Plus, they got a lot of similarities. Like that's why KD can also play in any era. A
100%.
lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of his shit talking, a lot of being able to game up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and all of that kind of stuff. Depending on the competition, all of that shit is like something that like a lot of the older people that love basketball, they believe is missing. That's what they don't see
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they just don't relate to people enough to know what drives
I
them.
just
So it's kind of a thing that where they think that they don't have it, but at the end of the day, they do.
I
and
think
that's
any
yeah,
player would
you're good.
do good in like any good great that we have would do good in any era. And the reason why I
Yeah,
say that is because they would just fucking figure it the fuck out.
yeah.
Like you can say like my best example is, for example, and this is a baseball take, but
Hmm.
people say that Babe Ruth wouldn't do good in this era. And like I somewhat see the argument because like he wasn't facing 99-mile-per-hour fastballs and all that. But if you think as good as Babe Ruth was back then that he wouldn't, because he would get to go through high school, college, the minor leagues, he would get all this fucking support. He wouldn't be drinking, he wouldn't be fucking, doing all the shit that he wouldn't be fat, he would be in shape, and he would just automatically be seeing the pitches that he'd be seeing today. It's the same thing. Like Larry Bird, like you guys said, would be shooting more threes. Wilt Chamberlain, like if he was to play today, he'd be forced to have a fucking three shot to maintain his greatness. Like all of that shit has to be considered when you compare the fucking eras. That's why LeBron would do good in a different era because he wouldn't have to shoot in a different era. He would just have to use his physicality. And everyone has always said if LeBron has to use his physicality, who stops him? Who really stops LeBron? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love that's the one argument I do like the most, just because I've fought with it over the years. I just have
yeah,
come down to I got Larry Bird as like my eighth or ninth best player of all time. I have KD as like my 15th, 14th.
okay,
So like it's a close battle, and
yeah,
Hmm.
given the year, it might change, but it's, given the maybe game in '86 that I randomly see, it might change. But like it's random. I
Yeah.
don't know. Those
hell
are
yeah.
two
So
cool players.
I think it's fair to say one more segment and then let's get the hell out of here. We'll leave it
Okay.
an all basketball episode. We'll save football for a future episode. So I'm gonna randomize some NBA players. I already got them randomized because I needed to be more prepared for the segment. And we have to debate, are they truly different? So
Let me
remember
use
that
the rest. Hold on one second.
All right,
no, it's
my
like
boy
not
got a
imagine.
peek. Come on now. Damn, I have mad football shit here.
Damn,
Next
my
episode, no,
bad.
we're good. Next episode, we good.
Yeah.
And
We're
I
still
was about to talk. I was about to talk some Aaron Judge shit too. I went and
I'm
researched it
dead.
because you said that. I was like, all right, got me.
We're still a couple months away from
Yeah,
football, so
my boy, 20 leading in 27 statistical categories in the American League. That's crazy. I don't
I
even
was
know.
gonna shit on him,
Oh,
but I'll
you're gonna
save
shit on him? He's leading in so much, but also I don't fucking know shit. And they're 42 and 26 first in their division, but I don't know shit.
right.
So I would have made those comments, and then you would have shitted all over me with it.
No, I mean I wouldn't have shit on you. I would have just said that he sucks in the playoffs, like I always do.
Yeah, that's a fact. He didn't do shit. Nah, last year was bad.
Or should we end the episode there? I mean, I don't.
No, we can randomize it.
Okay.
Yeah, you already got them. Imagine we just come back and say, "Nah, Cam, we're good now. Fuck that," and end
Yeah,
it.
man. You went to the bathroom, ruined the vibes, man. We're done.
I'm not gonna lie. The three takes you die on a hill for NFL. My second one, Bryce Young's still shit. Mad people have been hyping him up this offseason for
Me and you
random.
would have been arguing, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's still shit. Sorry. Next episode, bud. Or whenever you want to do that, or whenever you want to do that 3 hot takes you'll die on, or 3 takes you'll die on a hill for.
Yeah.
We can do that.
All right, so players that
Yeah,
are
man.
different. Remember, we got to hold that different to a high standard because that's our brand. So the
Mhm.
first player that is
Oh,
randomized
real quick,
is
real quick, real
Michael.
quick, real quick. When you fucking make the short for this, put that different in big letters so I don't get killed in the comments again.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how much more. I mean, I put in the description. I even put it in the bottom. I got you though.
I was getting psyched. These motherfuckers are smoking me, saying Kobe's not better than Jordan and Mike and LeBron. I'm like, I didn't say he was.
All right, so for first player, Michael Finley.
Built different or not?
No,
Different.
I love Michael Finley, but fuck no.
no, stop playing,
No,
bro. No.
You think he is
I mean,
built different? You said we have to hold him to a higher standard, Thomas.
Yeah, bro.
yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can
What
make
makes
it
him built
right.
different, bud? No, fuck that. Please tell me what makes him built different.
I mean, he was
No.
yeah. Nah, you right. All right, so
I fucks with you, boy. I fucks with
Brandon
you.
Jennings.
No.
No.
He just showed
Thank
he's not
God.
built different. He just showed it.
Man, I hated watching his career too, man. I mean, that dude was a fucking chuck, and if it went in great. But man, he was a wet paper bag on defense. I hated watching him on the Knicks. I wanted to die
Oh,
when he was a New York
when
Knick.
he was in one of the podcasts, he was saying him and Drew Holiday, yeah, does Drew Holiday have a better career than me? Yeah, but am I a better player? Yeah. Bro, Drew Holiday would lock you up, then score 30 on you.
Bro, if it was a race,
But you're not.
Drew Holiday would lap him like 4 or 5 fucking times.
But, bro, he can't guard Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday will guard the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck him.
All right. This is an interesting one. Brandon Roy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Could have been one of the most built different players of all time.
Yep.
We didn't get to see that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, he was so good. He was so good. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. But
I'm gonna say no.
Not to the extent that he could have been.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of players like that, man.
I'm gonna say no. One of the biggest what if stories, but he only played, 300 or so games. His health was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think he was different enough to push through those injuries, as sad as that is to say. It sucks shitting on Brandon Roy. Like, that's such a weird thing to do. But Quincy AC.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit. Quincy AC built different, but not in the right ways. Quincy AC is not built different.
He punched John Wall on Christmas, man.
He built Hard Knocks, but he's not built different. Come on.
All right, 2 more. JJ Redick.
No, but his mentality is built for success. You feel me?
I think he has a chance here with this coaching tenure on the Lakers. I think he has a wonderful chance because I don't think anyone's really ever put Luka Doncic in a position to really fully really be that guy, the guy that can go out and win a bunch of rings yet. I think if he can be that guy that puts Luka in that position with whatever talent the Lakers bring in, I think he'll be
helped him get to the finals, but okay.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something real quick. It's on Luka to motherfucking want to go to the championship. JJ is just a coach. Luka is the one that suits up. It's on him.
Of course, but basically what I'm trying to say is Rick Carlisle couldn't scheme Luka Doncic correctly. We saw that. And then when it came to Jason Kidd, he did as much as he kind of could. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he hasn't had that one guy, which I think JJ Redick is that guy that when they get those pieces.
Obviously,
play a single lick of ball against some Celtics.
I don't believe that he could have ran for Rick Carlisle as much as Rick Carlisle likes to run. That's why that didn't work. They believed in Luka first because it was the big international prospect. His championship was long ago with Dallas when they got him. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, if we want to really dissect it, let's really dissect it. Like, come on, man. No, I don't hate Luka. I understand coaching, and I listen. Tricky Ricky, that's what they call him. They said I heard somebody call him Tricky Ricky. They say he got the best schemes, and the scheme is crazy because the truth fucking is that have you ever watched? Well, we watched the games together, but you know what I love more than anything? Like he actually literally deploys plays that his players enjoy running for him. Like they got a in ball full court press that they run as an offense with the inbounder and all the other four players on the inbound on the upper part of the court, to just totally destabilize the defense and get them on their back heels. Yeah. That is just genius. You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man. But anyway, go ahead, man.
My bad. Yes. I was just watching Lance Stephenson and Dwight Howard were just fighting in the Big 3 league, but like they got to a scuffle.
Oh shit! I'm gonna watch that.
All right, last person, and then we can get out of here. Tracy McGrady, but consider everything because I'm gonna say no.
Yes, man. I don't know what the fuck you be talking
about. Now, because Matt's
gonna Brandon Roy ain't different and Tracy McGrady ain't different.
My argument is that he was terrible in the playoffs. He got his little sympathy Hall of Fame because he was a really talented player that did show us some good years. But different, I don't know if he can truly
that
be different.
Was built different. Yes, could he not make it out of the first round? For sure. Is that a big smudge on his career? For sure. But that motherfucker was a fucking dog. He led the league in scoring. If Kobe gonna sit here and say he's everything I can do and better at 6'9", what the fuck are we sitting here saying? Like, come on, bro. That motherfucker was a menace offensively. His size, yes, he wasn't the greatest defender mentally, but his size made him do what he had to on the defensive end. He could put up 37 and 6 on any given fucking night without breaking a sweat. He's built.
So when you play basketball from 10 years old, right? When you play basketball from 9 or 10 years old, then you get into the professional ranks and you're 20-something years old of playing basketball. No, real talk, man. Not everybody has the sustainability of everybody else as it pertains to NBA. So when we classify somebody as built different, I don't think that time is always something that should be associated with being built different because people are different in eras. We are now living in a generation where people actually learned how to take care of their bodies a bit different. So you get a bit more of a sustainable career from most of the supposedly superstars nowadays. But to be truthful, as it pertains to the NBA, it is always encapsulated by moments, okay? Now, the people that you're speaking about in general on today's show with being built different and Tracy McGrady and Brandon Roy, both had shorter careers as it pertains to being built different over time. But in short play and in short form in which most people digest their NBA today and everything else today in short spurts, you will not find 20 better tapes on the NBA level than Brandon Roy's and Tracy McGrady's. So fucking right, they are built different, regardless of what my homeboy is saying today.
And with that being said, we are going to leave it there. Attaboy, Ken. Ken put 13 points.
I love my boy, man, but Jesus Christ. In the way that we consume our content nowadays, just go find 20 people that are better than Brandon Roy and Tracy McGrady in their clips.
Tyler Hansbrough, Monte Ellis.
Yes, highlight-wise. Like literal highlight.
I'm just fucking around. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, leave some feedback, buckle in, because as I said in the beginning, we have a lot of content coming. Content's going to keep on coming. Just sit back. We're going to put on a podcast masterclass. We hope you like the new layouts. We hope you guys like the new look of the website, which is going to be updated before this episode drops. We hope you like everything that's going on. We have a whole bunch of growth everywhere, so make sure you guys are in tune with that. Hit the music. Have a good day or night wherever you are, overseas, in America. You know, stay positive, stay safe. I know there's a lot of negativity and bullshit going on in the world, so we hope we can make you laugh or make you think differently. All that types of shit. Have a wonderful day and night. We're out of here.
Yeah.